Well, Dr. Ben Carson has drawn even with Republican frontrunner Donald Trump in Iowa. The CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows the pair tied at 27%.
This is the third recent poll showing Trump either tied with or trailing Carson. Earlier in New Hampshire, Trump had this to say when asked about the newest results.
You've fallen behind Ben Carson. Why?
I don't believe I did fall behind. It was one poll and a second poll. It was small polls. And I was in Iowa 3 days ago. We had a town hall that was unbelievable. It was packed. Thousands of people standing outside.
One poll's the Des Moines Register, another's Quinnipiac, which you've said is a good poll.
Well, the Des Moines Register is a terrible paper as far as I'm concerned. No, it really is. It's not a respected paper. Very liberal paper, by the way. I believe, and I've been winning in Iowa. And by the way, I have other polls in Iowa that say I am winning, just so you understand. This was two small polls. And all over the country, I'm winning by massive numbers. But I will say that I think I'm winning in Iowa. I think I'm doing really well with evangelicals, with Tea Party, with everything else. And we'll see what happens. But that was the only one where I have a slight not lead.
National political reporter from Real Clear Politics, Caitlin Huey-Burns, is here with us. Caitlin, great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So he seemed a little defensive right there. Is he feeling the pressure from Carson?
He might be. I mean, Carson's rise, I think, is very significant, and I think it's real. We've seen him propelled by evangelical support in Iowa, and also he is leading among women, which is also helping to fuel his support. And we know in Iowa that evangelicals really help to elevate these candidates. They play a major role in elections. They turn out in caucuses, and as we know, it's different. There is a difference between turning up to a rally and actually going out to caucus on one of those cold nights in February and actually voicing your support there.
And Ben Carson really hasn't spent a lot of time in Iowa, at least compared to Donald Trump, right?
Carson has spent a good amount of time. He is organizing on the ground, but so is Trump. So is Ted Cruz. I would say that from what we know so far, those are the top three in that state. But interestingly, you know, Ben Carson went on a book tour. He's been kind of turning those into campaign-style events. But, you know, Donald Trump, I'm wondering if he is going to spend as much time in Iowa and maybe shift to New Hampshire or some of these other states.
Well, let's look ahead to Wednesday's debate. As Carson continues to surge in the polls, could we see the other candidates target him more than Donald Trump, which we've seen in the past?
Well, I think that we might see some contrast drawn between Ted Cruz and Carson, or Ted Cruz and Donald Trump, because he is vying for that similar support. And in the debate, several of these candidates need to have some kind of make or break moment. I mean, Jeb Bush is looking for a way to rise. Marco Rubio has done significantly well in debates before, looking to continue that performance. Carly Fiorina as well. But the difference is that Ben Carson has not really attacked his fellow rivals in the way that Trump has. So maybe people will feel a kind of sense of you know, camaraderie with him, not so much Donald Trump.
I'm wondering if you think the debate will be feisty because, you know, Ben Carson is sort of the nice guy. And it's going to be tough to attack him in any sort of vicious way without kind of looking bad.
Right, and because he doesn't really respond in the way that Donald Trump is. He has this very calming nature to him, even though a lot of the things he says are considered controversial. But that's what we see in the polls when we talk to voters. That's what they say. They kind of like that presence that he has, that difference. He's an outsider, but he has a very different style and approach than Trump does.
Yeah, looking at those numbers, 61% said they would be satisfied if Carson was nominated. Let's go back to Bush for a moment. If he doesn't have a fantastic debate on Wednesday, could he be the next Scott Walker here?
I do think this is a really make-or-break moment for Jeb Bush. We saw over the past couple of days, we know the news. I mean, he's cut his staff, he's cut spending, he has been fading in the polls. He's really looking to assure donors and already people who are supporting him at this point to calm their nerves and calm them down. So I think that the debate will be a chance for him to show that he is still in this for the long run, still has that energy and passion to go after this. He said he's running a lean and mean campaign now. We'll see if that comes through in the debate. But I do think this is a really key moment for him.
Yeah, we actually have a little bit of a bite from him where he's talking about the campaign, and it almost looks like he's sort of looking for an out. But let's take a listen to this.
This election is about how we're going to fight to get nothing done. And I don't want anything. I don't want any part of it. I don't want to be elected president to sit around and see gridlock just become so dominant that people literally are in a decline in their lives. That is not my motivation. I got a lot of really cool things that I could do other than sit around being miserable listening to people demonize me and me feeling compelled to demonize them. That is a joke. Elect Trump if you want that.
How do potential donors react to that?
Well, this is a sure sign that Donald Trump has gotten under Jeb Bush's skin. This is not the race that Jeb Bush expected to run. He came into this race campaigning on his experience, his record as governor, and here we have an election where the base of the party is saying, we want someone with no experience in politics. We want the non-politician. So it's a combination of that mixed with the way that Trump has been, over the past several months, going directly after Jeb Bush and really trying to undermine his campaign. I think that's a reflection of that and speaks to the larger issues that the campaign is having.
Yeah, Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.